In this video we'll be travelling on board of a high-speed train from Lyon Part Dieu, the main railway station in the French city of Lyon, and not too far away from Switzerland, to Barcelona in Spain. What it's like to travel on board of these Spanish high-speed trains, what are the oldest Spanish high-speed trains you can find. And you can also use these trains for domestic routes in France. We're all about to find out in this video. Join me on board of this train from Lyon in France to Barcelona in Spain. For now, let's get this video on the track and let's roll the intro. Earlier that morning I arrived in Lyon with this Frecciarossa high-speed train from Paris. This is being operated by Trenitalia, the state-owned railway company of Italy, and they are competing on some routes. Also on the route Milan-Paris, this operator is competing with the French state-owned railway company SNCF. Sometimes I honestly don't know what's better, competition or just working together. But if there's one company that started competition in other countries, then it's the French state-owned railway company. However, I think protectionism for international railways, well, that's not working. You should work together. Lyon has the steepest metro line in the world, and because I had some time to kill, I just took this metro line. There's even a cogwheel for a big part of the route, and this here the steepest metro station in the world. Well, back to the main railway station, or at least nearby the main railway station. Let's first discover the area around. At the front you find access to the underground, so the metro, and there are some tram stops as well. Opposite from the main railway station there's quite a big shopping mall, so if you need anything, well, just go there. Also bus stops for city buses are located at the front of the railway station. When I was here there was a construction works mainly going on at the front. However, this here is the back of the railway station, and over here you find more tram stops and even some bus stops. These buses are more regional buses, so no city buses, and the bus stop is a little bit more located at the back from where you find the trams. Vending machines for the trams are located at several spots near the tram stops, and you also find the tram to the airport from here. Although I really hope that if you watch these videos you're more convinced about traveling by train instead of plane. Obviously around the railway station you find many hotels as well. Let's head into the railway station, and this here is the main entrance at the back of the railway station. Over here there are some taxi stands as well, so if you want to grab a taxi you can find them over here. Passengers that will be dropped off by car or picked up by car, for those passengers you find an underground parking garage where there's also a special pick-up and drop-off zone. The railway station of Lyon Part Dieu is not the prettiest railway station, in my opinion at least, but I think many people agree with me. You basically find some tracks, and right under the tracks you find the shops and railway related services. There's not a shortage of screens that will host information about departing trains from here. There is a kind of first class lounge. It's located if you go this way and just follow the signs that says Salon Grand Voyageur. However, not all tickets do gain access to the first class lounge, and not all railway companies, well, do access the first class lounge of the French state-owned railway company. So there are some terms and conditions when it comes to this. Within this railway station there are several waiting areas, and most of them were pretty well occupied. If you're good in playing the piano you can do that as well over here, like in many railway stations in many different countries. I'm not good at this at all, but well, would be cool though. If it will be good I can maybe even compose my own background music for YouTube. How cool is that? Just like many French railway stations, the areas where you can board the trains have been mentioned in hall numbers. This here is hall number 1 and what is, well, at this moment at least, the most used area. Over here you find most shops, some waiting areas, etc. Although I found out that the waiting area over here in the center of the railway station was really busy, basically all the time I went here. There are some railway related shops as well, both for Trenitalia for the, well, competitive trains to Paris and also to Italy, and SNCF for both regional and long distance trains. These are different counters. Although I strongly recommend you, if you buy a long distance train, to book this more in advance. Simply because trains can be fully booked, and if they're fully booked there won't be sold tickets anymore, so full is full. For Renfe, the company where we'll be traveling on today, there are no ticket counters or vending machines. You will only find this for the French state-owned railway company SNCF. They also sell tickets for Eurostar trains, for example, to London, the Netherlands and Belgium, and Trenitalia. And simply because there are several railway companies, and also because the French website to book your train tickets, what basically swaps every 3 to 6 years, is at this moment one of the worst booking websites for train tickets, I highly recommend you to book train tickets on the website of Trainline. Trainline offers tickets for all the railway companies that operate in France at least, and you can compare those as well. And the booking process is way easier than the website of the French state-owned railway company itself. Also keep in mind, in general the rule is the earlier you book your train tickets, the lower the prices are. At the moment a train is nearly fully booked, you probably pay the full fare. At the back of the railway station you'll find this area over here. There are some more railway related services over here, some shops, you name it. This is actually the way to hall number 2. Because I had some time to kill, I also left my luggage in the left luggage office. That's over here. If you want to do this, you have to put your luggage through an X-ray scanner. Opposite from here there's another waiting area, and what I noticed was that this one was the least busy waiting area. It looks really nice, I have to say, even though I think there's still a shortage of waiting areas. One advantage when it comes to the waiting areas and French railway stations is that you can also charge your mobile devices. And in general there's free Wi-Fi available throughout the railway station, although I didn't test it out. Hall number 2 at this railway station looks much newer, and I think hall number 1 will also be changed after they finish the reconstruction of this railway station. Even though this is not my favorite railway station, directions have been marked crystal clear throughout the railway station. Obviously in French, but also in English and with the use of icons. For most trains, and especially if you're traveling with long distance trains, you will find access gates. But at the moment it's not being used for a long distance train, the access gates will just stay open. And this here is hall number 2. It's not being used that much, but I think it's great that there will be some less pressure on hall number 1, because all the times I've been to this railway station it was really busy. By the way, the track numbers at this railway station have been mentioned with letters instead of numbers. You find this more often in France. I hope you like this video so far. If you do so, or if it's a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any comments or feedback, some questions, let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see more trip reports like this channel is focusing on long distance and cross-bordering traveling to show you what it's like to travel on a more sustainable way of transportation. Then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. For now, let's continue with this video. Well, I think you have an idea about this railway station. And apart from that, many things will be changed because of the reconstruction works. So many things might be a little bit different soon as well. So let's go to our train. The train will be listed, well, quite in advance, but the platform numbers will be given relatively last minute. However, since there's only one Spanish train, I didn't need to wait for that. I just went to a random platform to see if I could see trains at other platforms, and here it is, even before it's announced. So hopefully I can film in an empty train. Well, that turned out a little bit different. This is a Renfe class S100, and these are the oldest high-speed trains being owned by the state-owned railway company of Spain, that is Renfe. At the side of the train, right next to all the entrance doors, you find a number, and you might think, at least at the first couple of numbers, that this is the class number, but this is the carriage number. Right next to that you find some other information. This is the train number, the final destination, some stops along the way, also the carriage number, well, the basic route information. Information about what facilities can be found where can't be found at many spots at the side of the train. Apart from the cafeteria, that's mentioned with C, or dining car, just how you want to mention it. By the way, in Spanish trains, second class is being often called turista and first class is being often called preferente. Within these services to France, you won't find extra services in first class that come including meals. On domestic routes in Spain you will find that. Also, if you book for example a domestic train in Spain for an international AVE high-speed train. At this moment there are 2 AVE high-speed trains from France into Spain, and then there are also TCV Inuit trains operated by the French state-owned railway company SNCF. So they basically compete. The Spanish trains can be found on the route Marseille-Madrid and on the route Lyon-Barcelona. The French railway company SNCF also has several trains per day between Paris and Barcelona, and there are some trains per day between Toulouse and Barcelona. They don't go deeper into Spain, unfortunately. This used to be a company that was a cooperation of both the Spanish and the French state-owned railway companies. However, the French decided that it's not worth it and they just continued on their own. And the Spanish, they started to do the same thing. So basically it's like back how it was before, but now these are 2 different companies. And I don't know if this is good or not, and especially not for state-owned railway companies. I think they should work together, and especially within Europe. At the platform there's a screen that will host a train composition, and a lot of people were gathering at the platform. For these trains there are no gates at the platform where your ticket will be checked. So the train staff will check your ticket in person before you can board the train. This is quite inefficient, and talking about working together on a European level for railway companies, I think if the French and the Spanish work together by just using the gates, this whole process would be way less chaotic. But even though it was a bit chaotic, within the chaos everything went actually pretty smooth, and we were leaving Lyon Part Dieu railway station bang on time. For now, let's start with the interior of this train. At the total back or front, depending on what way the train is moving, you find the accessible toilet. The button to lock the toilets, well, this was misplaced and therefore a little bit unclear. And if you're traveling with a little baby, over here you can change the diapers within these toilets. Let it be no surprise that the accessible area in the second class is close to this toilet. The second class or Tourista comes in a 2x2 configuration, so 2 seats on both sides of the aisle, typically for European long-distance trains. For luggage, you obviously find the overhead luggage racks throughout the train, but at the vestibules you find bigger luggage racks. Personally, I like to keep my luggage a little bit closer to me so I can have an eye on my luggage. There are plenty of regular toilets within these trains, and this is how the regular toilets work. Pretty fine, nothing special. Information about the routes, carriage number, etc. will be displayed at basic screens throughout the train, both in the compartments but also at the vestibules. Also, what facilities can be found where has been displayed pretty clear within these trains. There is a dining car, but there's also a trolley service available, so you don't need to leave your seats to order some snacks and drinks. The menu selection is pretty basic though. Like I already mentioned, all tickets for these trains do come including a seat reservation. It is possible to select a seat, but then you pay a little bit extra. In the second class is 1 solo seat, and that was unfortunately already occupied when I booked my ticket, so therefore I was traveling in first class because it's way easier to film and to walk around a bit. These trains date back from 1992 and are the oldest Spanish high-speed trains you can find. I don't know how long they still want to keep these trains, but the newest high-speed trains they have in Spain, they also want to use those trains for the routes to France. There is a dining car, the menu selection is okayish, but what I really like about this dining car is that you have big windows on both sides of the train. So especially when the train is driving with 300 km per hour, this is pretty cool. It's not a place where you can have a nice seat though. Speaking of seating, let's do a seat tour of the regular seats you can find in second class, and these are the airline style or long distance bus composition seats. There's a footrest, there's a sturdy folder table with a cup holder, and right below that there's a small magazine rack. There's an entertainment system included in the seats, but I didn't test it out during this ride. Reading lights are located right above the seats. You also find the seat numbers here, but the seat numbers can be found at the side of the seats as well. There are some bay seats, so seats facing each other. In that case, there's a bigger table in between. You can fold it out and even make it bigger. On board of these trains there are quite a lot of power sockets, so it's perfect to charge your mobile devices or just to work on your laptop if you're traveling on board of this train. Free Wi-Fi is also available, I'll get back to that in a bit. At the end of the first class there's something different, the Sala Executive. This is a kind of private compartment. Although I have to say the views from the train if you're sitting here won't be that good. However, the seats are pretty nice. Basically these are first class seats. There's, just like everywhere in the train, not a shortage of power sockets. And well, you just have some more privacy. Ideal for, well, famous people for example. Or if you want to have a meeting on board of the train. You find this on more Spanish high-speed trains. But well, it's everywhere a little bit different. For these seats, you find a table located within the armrest. And this is quite a sturdy table. Close to this area, there is another toilet that is slightly different than most regular toilets on board of this train. This door can also be opened in two different ways. I guess in a way this toilet is partially also more accessible. And this toilet can also be used as a diaper changing facility. First class or preferente comes just like most European trains in a 2x1 configuration, so 2 seats at one side of the aisle and 1 seat at the other side. Just like second class, most seats are alike in an airline style composition or long distance bus seat composition, but there are also some bay seats, so seats facing each other with a bigger table in between. You basically have more room in the first class. Obviously you have the same amount as luggage room as in the second class. You have more leg room, the seats are a bit wider and a bit more comfortable. There's not that much extra surface over here, at least not that I noticed. The tray tables in seat in front of you are quite sturdy, you find a footrest, a magazine rack, and you can recline these seats. The entertainment system, well, I didn't try it out this time, and all seats do have a power socket. Oh yeah, and basically everywhere in the train you will find sunscreens. Obviously in the first class you also have a reading light, and at the moment the seats are right next to each other, so 2 seats, the power sockets are located between the seats. And the same thing counts for the garbage bin. At the moment you have the seats facing each other, there's a table you can fold it out to make it slightly bigger, and the garbage bin is located at the side. Free Wi-Fi is available. This is not just Wi-Fi, but it also links your mobile device to an onboard entertainment system. To use this, you have to enter your ticket number, and to use the entertainment system you have to download the Play Renfe app. And for the last bit of the video, I'll just show you some views from the train between Lyon in France and Barcelona in Spain. Via Montpellier, Narbonne, Perpignan, Figueres en Girona. That's it for this video. It's already the next morning and I'm heading to the railway station again in Barcelona to catch my next train. I'm on my way to Morocco, and of course I do this as efficient as possible and make some more trip reports. I'm doing this part alone. From Malaga my girlfriend will join me. I hope you liked this video. If you did so, or if it's been a helpful video to you, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. If you'd like to see more trip reports about more sustainable ways of transportation, the main focus for this YouTube channel is cross-bordering and long-distance traveling on a more sustainable way. Then hit that subscribe button if you haven't done this already. Before we really end up this video, one last thing. Let's take a close look on the environmental impact if you're traveling by train, car and plane on this route. Well, of course, trains won't clean the air, but in terms of carbon dioxide, the train is 98.5% less polluting than taking the plane on the same route. This is all based on full capacity, both for the plane and for the train, by the way. And also for the train, I assume the green energy certificates that are being used for the electricity that are being used for the train. So this is greener than the national average. We are talking a lot about becoming more sustainable, and especially in the aviation industry. However, the aviation industry is growing. This doesn't go hand in hand, and I think we should stop having these short-haul flights. And we just need more trains. But there's also a task for the railway companies when it comes to this. Make the booking process easier and work more together with neighboring countries. When it comes to travel time and price on this specific route, the train, car and plane are, well, pretty much equal. There's not a real winner or loser. But in terms of comfort, because you go from city center to city center, you don't have to pay attention on the road. And in terms of environment, the train is to me the absolutely winner on this route. And I want to do something else this time as well, because I do get a lot of comments, especially on my Norway videos from Norwegians that are saying like, oh, I have an electric vehicle, that's way more sustainable, it's more sustainable than the train maybe. Well, that's not true. Here's a graph that shows the environmental impact if you have an electric car on the same route. Of course, electric cars are good, but they're only a part of the solution. And especially if we create very big electric cars that also need more batteries because they're heavy, and because they're heavy they need more batteries, so you get this kind of effect. I don't think that makes sense. Small electric cars are totally fine, and also electric vans, for example in cities, are totally fine. But electric cars are not the solution. They are a step into the new direction and the right solution. For now, that's really it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did so, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to see other videos, you can find them on this channel, and in the description of this video you also find a link to a map where you can find our videos as well. And this map will be updated very soon from what you see over here.